600 bud right now. I'm just getting lower on seed. I still have, let me check the monitor here. Since this 3555 card has scales on it, it'll tell me exactly how much is in there and also what time I have left on running those. So right now it says the lowest tank that I have, which is fertilizer, is about 49 minutes, and it's about 37 acres is what I can do. Seed, I've got a little bit more, but I'm going to run out of fertilizer first, but that's okay because Dad just showed up with the truck, and we're going to go ahead and top me off, and then I think he's going to probably run the drill after I get it filled, and I'll take the truck back, put product in it, make sure it's all ready to go for the next drill, and kind of go from there. But as it's turning out, it's running great. So far, everything's been really good. That new air throttle that Nick put in here, mint. It's really changed how this thing reacts on your throttle, which is awesome. Yeah, you gotta love this old iron. Who knew that years and years later, these things would still be doing a fantastic job? Yeah, they do break down. Yeah, they need some upgrades. Yeah, they take some time to understand. But the newer tractors today, they don't have that in mind of how can we keep these things to repower and build for the future, and they just build them so that they can last for 20 years maybe, and then they'll stop making parts for them, and then, well, then you're sunk. You gotta park it and scrap it. But these things, we can put axles, we can put engines, we can put transmissions, we can put hydraulics, we can put new windshields, that kind of stuff. So there's always stuff we can do to them. Anyways, making progress. Let's go get the truck and fill it up. So I got the, oh, hey, look at that. They're not gonna like me driving over them, but a few red ants. They got huge fangs on them. Like, yeah, they're vicious. They're probably the most vicious creature on the planet here in Montana, at least. You learn to cope with them. The trick is you don't let them push you around, because if you start letting them push you around, well, then you've already lost the battle. So not worth it. Not worth going that far. Open these up. Don't let them slam. Let's go get the remote. All right, go bring the truck over here, and we'll put some product in it. Alright, I guess he wanted to run the tractor for a while, so that gives me time to go get this thing filled up with seed and fertilizer. And then, yeah, I guess Nick's out there messing with the sprayer, so I'll just be the runaround guy. Get some stuff figured out, a couple things fixed as I'm going along throughout my day. So yeah, we're making progress. Getting there. Brought it back to the yard. It's starting to get a little warmer today. So because it's been freezing at night, I've been taking the boxes and the treater back to the shop. So in order for me to do this, I drove the truck here, got the Dodge, drove back over, grabbed the treater, bring it back over here, and then I'm going to treat. And I'm going to leave it here for the rest of the day. And then hopefully I can still treat one more time in the truck before I take it all back tonight, because it's going to freeze again. So yeah, working slow and steady. We're Getting it going, getting it done, doing something. You want to see what happens when you have wind and you're trying to treat? Not fun. The wind was just kicking in the hopper, scooping the treat and splattering it everywhere. I did my best to stop it from doing that, but there's only so much you can do. I know. Kind of a waste, huh? I didn't ask for it, but we got it. We got a beautiful day today. It's gorgeous. No wind. It's sunny, and I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to jinx it. Everything's going great today. All right, I went out here. I want to just see how the depth is going. We got the 525 big butt over there with the 4350 cart and our 700 toolbar. That thing's seeding along. I'm gonna check the depth and just see what it looks like. I'll tell you guys, it's dry. Oh, is it dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig down in the soil, try to find out where's the seed at. How is it placed? Is it still in soil that has got moisture, or is it in dry soil? Okay, so this is dusty. Okay, there we go, right there. See that right there? And I thought I saw another one. Oh, right there. See that? So that's a seed right there that's got treat on it. It's easy to find when you have the red treat. And that is sitting right on a little tiny bit of moisture, but I'll tell you, that doesn't look like a whole lot. You can just tell by the color of the soil. It's got a little bit, it's almost dried out, but if I crush it in my hand and let go, it keeps a little bit of a wad where it's at. You can see that ball? So that ball tells me it's got some moisture in it, and I can also see the color. So far, we're still sitting in some moisture, but although some of this, as I was looking through earlier, is not sitting in moisture, it's sitting in dry dirt. So we're gonna have a problem here. Because we are reliant on water, and we don't have pivots, and we don't have any way of watering our crops, and you know you cannot water your crop with a sprayer. That is not possible, for those that might say that. I know it's crazy. We've had people in the past say, well, why don't you just put water in your crop with your sprayers? Let's just say if you can count how many grains of sand is on a beach, well, that's probably how long it's going to take to get an inch of water on this property with spraying it on. Bad analogy, but it's one way to put it. You'll never get enough on there to feed your crop enough water. So here's the problem. Because we got some in dry dirt and some in some moisture, we're gonna have the stuff that's in moisture sprout. It'll start growing, but then the stuff that's in dry dirt did not sprout, did not grow. And then if we get some rain, then it'll start growing, but it's not gonna be the same time. So we're gonna have wheat that is growing, wheat that hasn't grown, and then a couple weeks later, there's gonna be a difference. So then what we're gonna have is, in our field, we're gonna have part of it is ready, part of it's not ready. So when we're in the combines, it's gonna be miserable to try to harvest the non-ready and ready. So you gotta wait until it's all ready, or yeah. But the thing is, so far, this month is basically the driest month we've had on record. I don't think there has been a month this time of year in my entire life, or my dad's entire life, that is as dry as this one. So it's not looking too promising, but you know what? You got to look at the good things. We still have an opportunity, even if we don't grow a big crop, if we are able to grow a crop, and it might not be a lot of bushels, we are able to feed thousands of people with that. And that in itself is an honor. The bank account's gonna get tight. Things are gonna look a little questionable, but luckily there's programs out there that help us out when we have tough times to pay our bills, because we have very high bills. And another thing I wanna let you guys know, if we are taking these programs that help us out, that means we're losing a tremendous amount of money. That means we're going in the hole. It is not something to sustain us. So we don't want to take that money. But if we don't take that money, then people don't eat, and people don't get to have the convenience of a candy bar or a loaf of bread or eggs or milk or whatever it might be on the shelf. They don't get that option. So in order for us to keep doing our job and keep feeding the world and keeping the ball moving, they have programs to help us out. Now, the other thing too is we also use a lot of diesel, we use a lot of chemical, we use a lot of mechanical engines, tires, you name it, chains. Everything that we use has a lot of other outsources, meaning we help supply many other people for their jobs. So with us not buying as much, with us not able to spend as much, means other people producing those products aren't going to get as much money, which also means that they're not going to be able to have enough to pay their employees, which means they're going to probably have to downside, which means there's going to be a lot of layoffs, and that means other people aren't able to pay their bills. So it's a spiral effect. Now, am I saying it starts with us? Not necessarily. But in these small communities, we do affect a lot. If we're hurting, the rest of everybody else kind of feels it too. Not saying that we're hurting now. I mean, we've been very, very blessed, but there's a snowball effect that can be a little crazy. But saying that, I know, and I've experienced this for many years, and I got to keep telling myself this. God has given us much, and He keeps blessing us with much. And He's got it under control. And if I'm scared, and if I'm worried, and if I'm fretting, that means I'm not trusting. So I need to be careful that I'm not worried too much or at all. And when it's His time, He'll provide the rain. And if it's not this year, then it's not this year. Hopefully it's next year, and hopefully the next year after that. But in all things, God is good. You guys probably didn't expect me to talk about that, but, well, there's a lot of things on our plate right now just thinking about it. And we're not the only ones that are experiencing drought. There's a lot of people across the United States that it's not looking very good for them too. So it's not just where we're at. There's other states that are dealing with it. And just know, if you're watching and you're dealing with that right now, just keep up your chin, or chin up, or however you want to say it. Keep pushing on. Please do not dwell on the things that are current. Just know that eventually they will work themselves out. And you have an opportunity today to be grateful for what you have. And that's what you need to start looking at, is what do you have right now? Is your family healthy? Are you able to get your bills paid? Are you able to feed your family? You know, there's little things that are really, really amazing. So anyways, all right, I'm going to stop yakking. Finally back in the spray seat. Feels good.
Probably use a different chair though, back this one.
Other than that, running pretty good. Have some big changes to Big Root. You guys saw some of the stuff we did. All that welding to the frame and did a lot of replumbing. And overall it's running really good. A couple little things. One, I think I've got a bad ground with the cab. And if I have too many electronics running, I start to lose my auto boom. So I think I know what's going on. I just got to clean up some grounding. It all runs through the same ground, through the power disconnect, and I'm pretty sure there's voltage drops because of that. So, but as you can see, the weeded is working strong. We are spot spraying. This is post spray on top of ground we seeded about a week ago. It's dry. Not a lot of growth here. Some of them there was growth, but I've been trying to get this all done before it starts to grow because we didn't get a chance to pre-spray ahead. Usually you do. We didn't, so we're spraying after. But with weed it's pretty awesome because I can save a lot of chemical. I sprayed over 2,000 acres, and I've used about, 1,800 gallons, somewhere in that area. So it's, yeah, it's not bad.
well under a gallon a day, which is pretty awesome. Here is an upgrade. What do we got? This is the Weed It Dash, and it's been pretty fun to learn how to run this thing. It's very similar to the console as far as what it can do. The console was up here. It was kind of an archaic push-button box with a really sad screen on it. This is the upgraded monitor. And this separates the Weed It system from all of the Raven system. Originally they were kind of connected. Now it's all independent. Even though I'm still using this up here for my auto guidance, my auto boom, and I'm still mapping because I want to be able to do the mapping for my AccuTurn where it turns around on the end of the field. So, and it's nice, I've got a flow meter that does my gallons in my tank, that's ran through this Viper, as well as my gallons per acre on here. So, but the Weed It Dash, this thing is nice. It's really nice. So, nice snappy screen. Got lots of options here I can see. So I can look at my sprayer. Let's go to the back of it. Let's just zoom in and see what's happening here per nozzle. So now I can see each individual nozzle firing. It is logging every time. Every time those fire, it is logging it. Isn't that nuts? So, that map here, if I zoom out, here is, let's go to this one. Oop, tap it once. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. That's what I got so far in this field. Isn't that crazy? Ha! Pretty neat. So, let's go back to this. So every time you see a blue dot there, theoretically, that is a weed that's growing in this field. There are false positives sometimes. I have the sensitivity turned up a little bit, so it is nailing some spots that it thinks is a weed and it might not be, but I'm running barely a gallon an acre, so really the savings are so huge. And here's our end of the field, turning itself. Ignore that. We're getting a new windshield, I haven't got it yet. But the sprayer is turning itself right now, thanks to Raven. Their AccuTurn's pretty awesome. There's all kinds of names for it. I call it AccuTurn, but it is, honestly, it is really nice for this setup. And then I get to the end of the field, I have to manually give it a little bit of gas, getting up to the speed here because it's got to shift that Allison up to the right gear. And then we're back up to speed we're supposed to be at. Sweet. Now I have this set up to show just what it's sprayed, but if I want, I can pull up some different layers here. I can pull up my visited. So that just puts a gray area over all the map that I've been on. It just kind of maps like this, but I kind of like this better. The CDD, I forget what that stands for. That's like the, what do you call it? Not organic matter, the vegetation out there. And so when we're actually spraying crop, this will give us a really good idea of the quality of our crop. Like there's a hot spot right there, so that's a bunch of weeds. The blue is the weeds, so basically it's just kind of flipping around. But another thing I really like is you can turn on activity here. So this, turn this off, there we go. Every one of these lines is showing when a PWM is firing. That's the nozzles that are firing. So every time it sees the weeds, well, if I go to slow, I put it on this mode, I kind of get an idea of where the weed pressure is in relation with the boom width that I'm spraying on. So like if my sensors are getting kind of dirty, I can see low spots. If I got a lot of dust kicked up, you can kind of see my tire tracks. Or like right here, if there's a lot of growth in a swath right there. For whatever reason, I can see it actually right there, a whole bunch of growth. So if you look here, there's a lot more activity there than over there. So that's kind of nice to watch. You can turn on all if you want, just give you an idea of basically the rough estimate of how everything's running. And then of course I can do my typical turn off part of the boom, turn on part of the boom as I need. It's got, what is it, AccuBoom. So basically this system is going to be able to turn on and off individual nozzles, not like sections of nozzles, each nozzle at 10-inch spacing as I go in and out of where I've already lapped. So your efficiency is huge. Anyways, so that's kind of what's going on in Sprayer Cab. It's been a good day so far. Getting a lot done. Getting caught up with the air drills, sort of. A couple thousand acres ago, if that's caught up to you. But to me, it's progress. This is pretty cool. Look at the weed pressure. So these are two fields. Ignore that one. I did that one earlier. But this one, in the low spot right here. See all the green stuff? There we are. An illustration of that. Isn't that neat? There we go. Lit up. That's pretty cool.
and I need to go get some seed and fertilizer to Dad. So run up there, give him what I got, and then let him go on his way. As of right now, we're getting closer to being done. I would say we're probably a rough ballpark 600 acres left. So we might actually finish today if everything goes well, but hard to say. Other than that, things are moving pretty decent. Just slowly whittling away. Nick's out spraying, and I'm out trucking / helping guys move / whatever else they need me for. And then we got Brandon is helping us out. He's running one drill. He helped us out last year. He had a few minutes to spare, so we said, hey, you want to run a tractor? He was in a tractor. And then I got Dad. He's seeding along, so we're moving. We're making progress. We're getting close. Alright, we're heading back to the farmyard. Just filled him up with fertilizer and seed, and he's ready to go. How's my double chin looking? Is that pretty decent? Okay, just asking, because your camera angle right there is kind of pointing right here at that thing.
Haven't really touched on this a lot. You guys are just numb to it. But I just want to give you guys just a glimpse of just the conditions out here. It's not good. Not good. It's very dry. Very dry. In fact, we haven't had a rain above a quarter inch since last July. I mean, just snow was basically non-existent. It's just not looking to be a good season. I'm nervous for the farms, crops this year. I'm nervous for the wildlife. It's not good. But I want to show you guys what it looks like in the field I'm spraying now. This field has not been touched since 2 years ago. Or I should say, this is the first time we've touched this field in 2 years. It was fallow. And it was seeded once this spring. This is how dusty it is. We just ran the drill through it once. Didn't work this ground, didn't plow it, didn't cultivate it, did nothing. Just hold a drill through it. This is the kind of dust that this sprayer's making. Just watch this. It's crazy. Normally you would see almost no dust this time of year. There'd be moisture in the ground, freshly tilled ground like that, bring moisture up. After all the snow you normally have, it's just moisture. It's not there. We've got a lot of seed sitting in dry dirt. We quit chasing it. Eventually you gotta stop going deeper because you're just burying the deep seed, so it's not worth chasing the moisture. At that point, you might as well just wait for it to rain on it, which there's nothing in the forecast. I don't know. It's just going to be really interesting. A lot of guys are in the same boat as us. This is not we've been in this boat for a number of years now. This is year number 7 at least for drought conditions, but the area all around is suffering. So it's not just us. A lot of farmers are in the same boat. And this has happened in the past. In 2000, 2001, one of those years, I don't fully remember the exact year, but we basically had a very similar setup to this. It was almost completely dry the year before, no rain. Went to winter, no moisture, no snow, seeded, and a lot of it didn't come up. And you have the opportunity in June to zero it all out. In other words, with our insurance that we pay premiums into, we pay for it. Basically, if the crop is not going to mature, it's not even going to get enough crop to even pay the minimum that the insurance will guarantee. They give you the option to just wipe it out. In other words, you spray the whole crop out. It's literally not even worth taking a combine across. It's so bad. And then you just manage weeds all year. It becomes fallow, and then you have an opportunity to seed it to winter wheat that following fall if you get moisture or next year's crop. So it's an opportunity to skip harvest entirely on that crop, which is nuts to think about. but in a way, it's actually kind of nice. You get paid, not nearly as good as it would if you had a crop, but you get paid some, and then you know, you start hopefully next year with a better moisture situation. Crazy, huh? We'll see if we get to that. I don't know. For those that might be curious if dust affects your weed it, well, it looks like there's more activity on the right side than the left. Let's go to the small. That's not bad. It's pretty even. Basically, the sensors they are hindered a little bit at seeing the green in the chlorophyll. So, but overall, they still work. It's amazing. They still do work in this. It's just probably a little bit less chance of having 100% accuracy. For those that are curious, yes, that's a nodding donkey there. That's the pump jack. Is that for oil? No, it's not. We don't really have oil that's pumpable right from the ground on our land. We do have shale, but it's shallow, so it's hard to do a fracking on it, so they don't do that. But we do have a little bit of natural gas in the land around here. We don't get much anymore. But with that, there are companies that pull some of the natural gas out, and that's what that pumping jack for is to get the water out of the line that they use to get the gas out. So it's been there for years, as long as I can remember. I don't even know if they use that. It's not any dog anymore, but who knows? It's still there. So that reminds me of the potential of oil being underground here, even though it's not for oil. Someday, maybe. Maybe that'll be our new thing. Alright, calling it a day. It's starting to cool down. It's going to get down to 34 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. So not enough to freeze a sprayer, but enough to stop plants from absorbing the herbicide. So it's better to shut down and pick it up tomorrow. We'll see if we get a warmer day tomorrow. So it'll be nice. Like this weeded system. This is amazing. Just literally going to spray 5,000 acres off one shuttle. Doing probably 7/10 of a gallon, 3/4 of a gallon of product or of spray per acre. Just crazy.